Hi, this is Emma Shannon, and you're listening to Monday Morning Critic Podcast.
You can currently find Emma Shannon in season 2 of the Righteous Gemstones, currently playing on HBO Max. Emma, welcome to the podcast today.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to tell you 300 episodes of this, and you are by far the youngest guest, and I couldn't be more thrilled to have you on.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes, you are the youngest, and maybe one of the most talented as well.
Oh my gosh, that's wow. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, from what I've seen early on, there's really a lot to like here, and during the interview, hopefully, people will see that if they're not already watching the Righteous Gemstones, people know what I'm talking about. If they're not, well, this interview will clear a lot of that up. So, when did you start acting, Emma? 6 years old? Is that right?
Well, I started at 5 doing acting classes in Boston, and I came out here doing this contest called iPop, and that's where I kind of got discovered, and I got my manager from that, and then my manager helped me get my agent, and yeah.
Oh, very nice. So do you have Massachusetts roots, Emma?
I do. Yes.
Emma, that's where I'm out of right now.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm about an hour away from Boston.
That's crazy.
Yeah, were you from the Boston area, or were you from another part of the state?
I grew up in Braintree.
Oh, Braintree. Yeah, I went to Northeastern, so that's all right in the... Yeah, wow, that's great.
That's crazy.
Small world. Do you miss it? I'm sure you don't miss it. Like right now, it's, I think, 10 degrees outside. I'm sure you don't miss that.
I actually do miss that, and I also miss the snow as well. And all of my family is from there, so...
Do you shuttle back and forth once in a while? Like, do you find yourself going back every once in a while, or is it just when time allows, or, how does that work?
Oh, yeah, we just visited recently. So.
Oh, very nice. That's great. So now I have to cheer for you even more because you're one of us now. So how does your life work before we get into your wonderful acting? How does your life work when it comes to school, right? Are you, because, different actors have different paths, right? Some kids get tutored, some kids go to a private school. How does your school work? Are you, so some kids I have, not kids, but younger adults I've had have gone to like a public school, and then they kind of resume their acting. Say whatever you're comfortable with on your schooling.
I do go to public school. I want to, we tried to have me stay in school for as long as possible to make those experiences and go to dances and stuff like that, and just be able to have those experiences.
Right.
I'm in 10th grade now.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean it's hard doing both, but I love school so much, so I love going. And
yeah, listen, I would have given anything for the path that you had, but I'm not nearly as talented as you are. Are you? So is it weird? So one day you're absolutely destroying it on the Righteous Gemstones, and the next day you're in social studies. Is that weird? To me, that would be so strange. I don't know. Or how are you? And say whatever you're comfortable with, because I don't want to pry too much, but just to get an idea of what it's like, right? Because not everybody is 15 years old or 16 and a sophomore in high school and just doing these wonderful things with these iconic actors. So that's an interesting part too, right? So is that a strange balance for you?
It's definitely crazy because I'm gone for so long, and then I come back and I'm kind of oh, what's happening? I need to catch up. And also people are asking me where I've been, and I can't say anything, and I'm just I don't really know. But yeah, it's kind of...
So is it once they see the episode that drops, and then they kind of figure out where you've been? And I'm serious. They see you up there just doing. I mean, between you and Gavin, I mean, you guys ran that whole episode. The last one, it's just an iconic episode. When they see what you've done and how really well you're doing it, do they bring that up to you too?
Yes, sometimes, yeah, people have come up to me and told me like, "Oh, you were so awesome. You did so great." And I was like, "Oh my god, thank you so much." And yeah, I mean, it does happen. Yeah.
It's not like you're like, and there's nothing wrong with being an extra. It's not like you're an extra in a background. Hey guys, I'm this extra. I'm third in the back, but like you and Jay Gavin are driving this episode. Like if people aren't telling you how good you are, then I'll say this. You're not saying this. Then they're jealous. That's just my point of view. But you are doing some wonderful things, and you should be proud of that. Do teachers ever say anything to you like, "Hey Emma, I saw it last night. You're great," or is it just kind of like you're one of the crowd? They don't kind of recognize it.
It has happened before.
Right.
Not very often though.
What is how do you spend your time? So away from acting, away from school, how do you spend your free time? I've seen your Instagram, very happy kid. You got a lot of talents, which we're going to touch upon. How do you spend your time away from all this, pressure and so forth?
I actually really like to write songs, like music.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been working on that. I also, I love to dance as well. I dance at school every day, so that's really fun. We started learning our dance for our spring show, so I'm really excited about that. And yeah, that's pretty much.
So Emma, who's an artist, a vocal artist or a group that you really that you find yourself listening to more than others? Like who's your go-to? What's your go-to song? What's a go-to group or a singer or performer for you?
Oh, I've definitely been listening to Taylor Swift a lot recently.
Very talented, yeah.
I love. My favorite song is probably either "Cruel Summer" or "August."
Wow, excellent. And before we get into your work, what are you streaming these days? Are you watching anything on Netflix, HBO Max? Outside of the stuff you're in, are you a Cobra Kai person? Are you watching anything? Yeah.
I watched it all in one day. It was so good.
You binged that entire season, and was it season 4 in one day?
Yeah, in one day.
Wow,
That is so good. I couldn't stop. I just had to keep watching.
So, what do you like better, right? So Cobra Kai, they give you all the episodes at once, right? And something awesome like the Righteous Gemstones, it's once a week. What do you prefer?
That's hard.
It's a really hard. I've asked that to other people. It's not a fair question. It's hard, but what's your take on that?
I kind of do like the binge, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also cool when it's like leaving you on a cliffhanger, waiting for the next episode.
You got to wait all week.
You have to come back.
Yep.
And I don't know. They both draw you in.
Yeah, that's a great answer because, and I asked that question to a girl who just told me that she binged the whole season in one day, so I should have probably thought that out. But that is a benefit, right? Because you can't stop on the Cobra Kai. But then again, the Righteous Gemstones, people go to work or school talking about how great the episode is, and you're waiting 6 days for the next one. So yeah, you're right. There is benefit.
It leaves you thinking about it.
Absolutely. So great answer on that. And I have to mention, you've done some work outside of Righteous Gemstones. You did some work with Jimmy Kimmel and Conan. That's pretty great, huh?
Yes, I have.
So how does that come about? Like, and I mean, you were a little younger, I think, when these unfolded, right? This was a couple of years back, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But talk about that. I mean, that's pretty fortunate to be able to work with Kimmel and Conan on some of those. Well, I think they were both Star Wars related. I think Conan was Star Wars, and I think I'll let you explain it.
Well, so I think originally I auditioned for Jimmy Kimmel one time, and I think after I did that one skit, they just started bringing me back and back and back for different skits. And I did that for a while, for maybe 2.5 years, I think.
Wow.
Just coming back on for different things. And sometimes it would be live, I'd be on the stage, and then sometimes it would be pre-recorded.
But that's a huge compliment, though, right, Emma? Because he's seen you once, they've seen you once. They're like, hey, let's bring back Emma. Let's bring her back. I mean, that's the ultimate thing as a performer that you want. People that believe in your work, they've seen you work. I mean, it would have been one thing if they saw you once, they're like, and they never asked you back. But that they ask you back over and over and over again, that's huge.
It's
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Yeah, and Conan as well. Was Conan a couple times, or was that once or twice? I don't remember. I was trying to look that up.
It was 2 times, I believe.
Okay.
I did. I think originally I was just supposed to do the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
And then they asked me to do another one, I think, the same day, I believe.
Wow.
I think it was the same day. I'm not completely sure, but
yeah. And you've done a lot of other things, better things. You're in a Disney universe with Puppy Dog Pals. You've done Fuller House. You've done Grey's Anatomy. I have to say, for your age, your filmography is very lengthy. I mean, people that are 3 times your age don't have a filmography this deep. So the fact that you are only 15, 16 years old and it's this big, I mean, that's a big thing, Emma. Do you realize that? I mean, you probably do, but like that's a huge thing as an actor.
I know that I do have a pretty long list of things, but I don't know. I still get like I'm very like humble.
You are definitely a humble person, for sure.
In a way. And yeah, Gavin's always saying to me like, okay, 65 credits, and I'm just like, I don't even know what to say to that.
But like I hear you talk about what's going on at school, right? And you're so like happy about like what was you talking about earlier? A dance that you guys are working on at school, but you're just as happy about that. Like you're not somebody who gloats, who beats their chest and like, hey, that's definitely not you. But Gavin is right. Okay, 65 credits. I'm going with his answer on that one. Before we get into your great work here, what's an advice you give somebody that's taking your path, right? Not necessarily your path, but that wants to be an actor that's maybe a younger 5, 6, 7 years old. What have you learned along the way that's proved valuable, Emma?
Definitely keep going. Don't give up on it if you're very, very passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are going to be lots of no's before the yes. And it's hard, but it's amazing, and you'll love it.
Yeah, that's a great answer. So how do you get into this role of young Judy in the Righteous Gemstones? How did you get that part?
So okay. So we got an email about the audition, and I didn't really know any. I knew like you get like a breakdown of the character, but I didn't know exactly how the character acted in a way.
Right.
The older version of So
Edie's version you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I just put all my sass on it, put all my craziness on it as I could. And I went into the audition, and then they brought me back for a callback, and David Gordon Green was in the room in the callback, and we kind of just played around with it and did some improv after the scenes, and he gave me adjustments, and because he loves doing a bunch of improv, and it's always such a great time. And then one day I was coming home from school, and I walk out the gate of the school, and my mom goes, "Hi, Judy." And my mom always does that when I get a character. She'll say,
wow.
She'll say, "Hi, character," and I was just like, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" And then she was like, "We're going to South Carolina, baby."
That is awesome. So that's how mom tells you got the role, is by saying she
Yeah.
refers. Oh, that's such a great touch. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So did you? So once you find out that you're Judy, do you study Edie Patterson and what she's done, or is it? It sounds like you kind of had a gist of the character. You know, once it kind of
And
yes.
I did study I watched Vice Principals.
It's a great show.
Oh, it is amazing. It
Yeah.
is so funny.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I studied for it. I just watched videos of her, watched Vice Principals, stuff like that.
Yeah. So do you have you ever sat down with Edie and just talked, just brainstormed Judy? Like, have you done that?
Actually, I'm not. I didn't meet her until we were filming season 2.
Wow. And you would already have done Interlude, the first one.
Yeah.
Wow. What does she tell you about nailing? It's kind of, I mean, I know it's Judy, but you're also nailing Edie, nailing Judy, right? So you're kind of picking up on that. Does she say anything to you? Does she say, wow, like this is, you're pretty talented, or, you know, you captured the essence of what I was trying to do?
Yeah, I think we were filming a scene, and I think we were finished, and we were walking out of the house, and she comes running, and she's like, "Oh my God, Emma! Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're so amazing, and
Yeah, that's great.
you nailed it," and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, "Thank you."
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is there I don't know how this cast holds it together. Like, but I want to touch on that in a second. But like, how? So, when you're picking up the character of Judy, how would you describe Judy to those that haven't started the show? Right? Because I know I've referred the show to tons of people. They love it. How would you describe Judy to somebody that hasn't seen the Righteous Gemstones yet?
Ooh.
Would you? I don't want to say this because I don't want to feel like it's describing you, because it's not. But would you say like she's a little off? She's maybe a little crazy, maybe a little.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. She's off a little.
Yeah, she's crazy, and she always wants to get what she wants, and if she doesn't, she kind of goes a little insane. And I love it. She's great.
Yeah, Interlude, that birthday party scene is so great. I mean, that might be the scariest clown I think I've ever seen in any movie ever. That was quite the scene. When you're in a scene, right? You've got Walton Goggins, you've got John Goodman. Are you ever like? Do you ever have to pinch yourself, Emma? I mean, is it ever overwhelming? Like, these guys are the best at what they do. I mean, is it ever surreal for you? I suppose you can't think that. Yeah,
definitely. And they're all so amazing. Walton is so amazing. He something he always does with us is at the beginning of a scene, he'll just start improvising before the scene starts. And so we'll just have like a conversation before the actual scripted scene starts. And he improvises all the time, and he's a method actor, and it's very like refreshing, and he's very in it. And yeah.
And you must be learning a ton with working with actors like that. Yeah. I mean,
so awesome.
Yeah, I still don't know how you keep it together. Like, he is beyond. I mean, is it tough? Like, whether you or Gavin, do you guys have to have? There's no way that these are done with less than 3 cuts, right? I feel like people have to lose it. Like, I don't know. I can't keep it together, and I'm watching it. Like, is it tough to keep it together sometimes?
It's definitely hard not to laugh. But there's definitely been times where I've had to be like,
Yeah, and Judy says the craziest things, right? So like the craziest things come out of her mouth. I mean, that's got to be so tough. But you've mastered it, so that's
I
pretty,
just commit to it, and
yeah,
I
you're
just
in
like,
after that.
I'm gonna have to, so I just do it.
No, that's great. You know, an interlude has the great song "Misbehavin'." What a
Oh,
great! I mean, when I talk to my friends or people are saying, "Hey, what are you up to?" I tell them I'm running around the house with a pickle in my mouth. Like that's one of the best lyrics of that song I've ever heard in my life.
oh my,
Yeah, I gotta say, just looking at what you do, the rap, you're my new rapper. You're my new favorite rapper, by the way. You're my new favorite. The rapping, the acting, the comedy. See, you have what I feel like is hard to get right. A lot of people think they're funny, but it's like once you get in a situation like this, you can tell that you're a natural when it comes to sense of humor. Same for Gavin. Like I can see that. Like when people try to force being funny, it doesn't work. You and Gavin are naturals at it. Is that kind of in your personal life too? You have a great sense of humor. That's kind of what you're like, because I feel like it's not something you can be taught. Like we talked about the singing and the dancing. I see that in you, but I also see the natural of just having a great sense of humor, just being a naturally funny person. Is that your personal life too, Emma?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do make a lot of people laugh. Not gonna lie. Uh, but yeah, people do tell me I'm very funny all the time.
Yeah, and Judy is the absolute best. Have you one of the Christmas gifts you received in Interlude 2 was the karaoke? Well, what was a karaoke machine, I guess, in the early '90s. Have you ever done karaoke? Have you done that?
Yes, I actually used to have my own karaoke machine when I was like really little, and I would use it all the time, and I'd dress up as Hannah Montana.
So the rapping part of it, right? Because that's the scene stealer in that episode for me. Like that's just unbelievable. Is that? I was looking up the lyrics. Is that an actual song? Did you make that up? Is that in the script? What is? I mean, that was just awesome.
It's actually a song by Eazy E.
When he was with NWA or when he was by alone, do you know? I mean, because
I'm not completely sure.
yeah, I'm like I can't find this anywhere because the lyrics are pretty obvious. Like there's not, it can't be confused. Those lyrics, like you don't find those lyrics in a lot of songs, but yeah, the way you come across in that, it's just again, I don't know how you do it, but even like when they're wrestling in the beginning and Judy's like break his back, daddy, like that's so crazy. I don't know. It just seems like it's so much fun. How much time did it take you to shoot Interlude 2? How many days are you on set for that, Emma?
I think okay. So we were in South Carolina for about a month, and we filmed for like 3 weeks. I believe 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So that 3 weeks in total is not too bad. And again, like one of the things that I wanted to ask you today was, I wanted to throw three names by you, but you already kind of talked about Walton a little bit. When I throw, just say whatever's on your mind. When I say the word, the name Danny McBride, what comes to your mind first?
Hilarious. He is hilarious, and he's so nice and so kind, and even he's the kind of person that even if he is busy, he will come up to you, or he'll try to come up to you and talk to you, and he's amazing, and he's very talented, and I am honored to have met him.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And he seems like that type of guy too. Let me ask you about this, working with Gavin, who plays Jesse. What are your takes? What's your take on him as an actor? It sounds like you guys get along because he does kind of give it to you a little bit as far as joking with you. What's your take on him?
Oh, he is amazing, and actually it's really funny. The first day we met on set, we kind of just like we clicked, and then after filming the first day, like the first day we met, we got in their car and we went to the beach.
So you guys like hit it off almost right away. Like,
Yes.
and when I was reading, just because I knew I was going to speak with you, I was trying to do some research. Many websites, many people who have seen or were reviewing the episode could not stop raving about what you did and what Gavin did as far as your performances driving. 85% of the punchline comes out of your mouth, comes out of his. Like it's either you or him, and that's tough.
His instincts are incredible. He knows exactly how to do it, and he literally is Danny McBride. It's crazy. It's so crazy how similar his mannerisms are, and he can just do it, and it's amazing.
Do people on set pick that up and like? Does Danny ever joke about it? Like he's more like Danny than Danny is. Like, does in the show? Do they like on set? Are they talking about how Gavin is just such a mirror image? By the way, that's my point. I was trying to get to you too. Like you're the mirror image of Judy. Like you're doing what Gavin is doing for Jesse, right? But do they make light of that on set? Like, do they know how close he is? I mean, clearly, but
I'm trying to think if I've ever. I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
Because he is. They are so similar, and it is crazy to me. Like it was perfectly casted.
Oh yeah, the whole cast is perfect. And what's it like being on? And I have to bring his name up. John Goodman. Is it fun working with John as well? He seems like a really good guy behind the scenes.
He is the sweetest person. He's very, very talented, and he's always making us laugh on set too between takes. And he'll open the door for you. He's a very, very caring and sweet person.
Oh, that's really well said. What do you like best about being on the Gemstones? I mean, outside of the fact that yes, it's HBO Max, it's got some big stars attached to it, but your performance in this, what do you like most about this? Like, because it's different than your other projects, right? Because the Mighty Gemstones, the Righteous Gemstones is certainly different than Puppy Dog Pals. It's not the same thing, but the fact that you're able to do a lot of variety of things says a lot about you. So when it comes to the Righteous Gemstones, what's your favorite thing for one of your favorite things for being part of this project?
Yeah, it's very different than Disney, but
yes, very, yeah.
I think my favorite thing is the people, and
good answer.
Also, I do really like getting to say swear words on TV. Yeah, I do like to have that freedom.
You can't see. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't think that I could put a lot of actors, never mind ones that are 15 or 16, and say, you know what, improv with Walt and Goggins, improv with whomever. Like that's really hard. Like that is really hard. Like so, there's a great scene when there's the bunk beds and Walton is on top and Billy's on top, and then there's like the whole family, the kids are in the room, and you're going back with a line about dong pong, and he's coming back at you about something. Like it's just so much fun to like people that are watching this, that are fans of the show. That's the success and the craziness of the show, and that's why I absolutely love it. It's the improv that makes it work, right?
Yes, definitely. It gives it so much. What's the word?
It's authentic, right?
It adds, yes. It's very refreshing.
Can you think of an improvised line that you had, whether it's the first or second season, that you really love, that you came up with? Can you think of an improvised line
that I came up
that you came up with, or that you said, or that kind of? That's a tough question because you got to go back through 2 years, 3 years worth of stuff. But if you can't think of it now, that's okay. But I figure while we're on it, I might as well try to ask you about it.
Oh, okay. So, so in season 1, when we're all at dinner at the restaurant.
Yes, usually they go there after the
yes. And so the beginning of that scene is improv, and Walton, he started it, and I'm trying to remember what he said. He says something like, "You're my favorite, Judy," and then I'm just like, I know. And also, the the rolls, like the biscuits that I was
Yes.
eating.
Yes.
Yeah, I started like just eating them and like eating them and eating them in the scene, and then Danny or David was like, you know what? Take all of them when you leave, and I was like, okay.
A little to-go basket for you. Yeah. Yeah. There's isn't there something really awesome about Judy, Emma? There's something just really refreshing. Yes, she's a little off. She's this, but there's something really off about. And very rarely do I see a character where two actors portray her really just unbelievably awesome. Like it's just so great. Isn't there something really just lovable about Judy? I mean, isn't there something really great about her?
Yes, she's very crazy, but like she's very crazy. She's kind of insane, but you can't like not love her
Yes, I totally agree. I totally
because
agree.
I feel like everyone has a little bit of Judy in them in a
Big
way.
more than they care to admit. You're right. More than they care to admit. Did you follow the show when you're not like? I know you saw the last episode, but do you try to keep up with it?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a great scene with Edie when she's Judy and she's in the bathroom and she's backing up like she's done with the conversation. She's about to go into the stall instead of going the other way. It's just there's like an innocence there with her that's I don't know. I feel like we all know like a Judy in our life. Do you know a Judy in your life? Somebody that's like her? Ooh, maybe that's a tough question. I don't want anybody to think, was she talking about me? Like, I don't want to.
I don't know.
But you're right, though. We all have that little bit of Judy. But here we go ahead. I'm sorry.
I definitely think that everybody has a little bit of Judy in them, and I definitely have a little bit of Judy in me. And then when I get all dressed and get my hair and makeup done, then all of it comes out of me. And it's crazy how I just change into her
Yeah.
as soon as I put everything on.
But what I love about this, I don't know how many seasons the Righteous Gemstones is going. I've heard 3, I've heard maybe 4. I don't know. So, but as long as they keep going, like your character is still in play. Like you're getting older the same way the story would evolve, right? Because the first time we see you, I think it's 89 with the first interlude. The second interlude is 93. So as we keep going, you're getting older too. So you still fit that part. Yeah. I mean, I don't want you to say anything if you know something, but it's the potential is there for you to be around for a bit.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So, what lies ahead for you? What's around the corner for you? Are there other things? Whatever you want to talk about, Emma. You've given me all this time. Whatever you want to say.
Yes. I actually do have a show coming out. Better Things in February 28th. I believe, and
nice. Monday. Good. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and I have 4 episodes of that.
So here's the thing with Emma with that show. You know, better like sometimes when I'm researching guests, right? I know about your work that I really like, but it's sometimes when I see shows like Better Things that look so good, like I'm going to start that either today or tomorrow, like because I want to catch. Like it seems from what I read, and I don't know, like there's so many shows out there. Sometimes they slip under it and you forget about them, you don't know about them. But Better Things like seems like it's such a great show, right? Solid show.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's so like raw in like a way, like raw, if that makes sense. Like
yeah, absolutely.
It's so natural, and it feels so real because it is real. Like
right,
and it's really great to be a part of such an amazing and real show.
Yeah, that's well said. You know, when it comes to emotions, right? We see in the Righteous Gemstones what your the comedic side is like, but on the other end of that, when it comes to being a show or a project that's very emotional, where you have to really go to that place, is, I don't want to say more difficult as an actor, but I would assume as an actor you appreciate the range, right? Like I can show people that I have a comedic ability. I can show people that I can get as serious with any. You have to appreciate that kind of thing, right? That spectrum of emotions.
Yeah. I do definitely do a lot more comedy than I do drama, but when I get to do those kind of dramatic things, I get really excited to show people that I can do that as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to say on what you just said, the comedy part. One of my favorite shows on television is Afterlife. It's on Netflix. It's very serious. Some people give up on it because it's a little too sad, but Ricky Gervais is great in it. But a lot of the people who do heavy things in that show, they play heavy parts, have emotional scenes. They're all comedians. Like they have this. I feel like comedians, stand-up comedians, especially, have this like dark spot like this. It's like, I'm not a place of pain, but they really can get deep. And I don't know. I feel like comedy helps that. And getting to your point about being, comedy and that you've done comedies, I feel like that's a part of it too.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah, it's really great when I get the opportunities to do more serious things because I want to like show everyone that I can do it, and I think I'm pretty good at it.
I think you're pretty good at it too.
There was in season 3 of Better Things, there was a scene where I get like hurt. I get the top of my finger cut off in a car door.
Oh, that doesn't even. Yikes!
And I had to like blood curdling scream, and then I had to like cry, like break down, and I was really nervous for it, but I think I really did a great job.
Boy, I hope in a scene like that they didn't have you do it for multiple takes. That sounds like it's a tough place to go to. Like, was that like a 1 or 2 take thing? I hope that wasn't like, okay, do it again. That's got to be draining, right? Like when you're screaming and you're emotional like that, right?
It may have been like 4 or 5 takes.
And you have to come from that same place each time. Each of those takes, you have to do that same kind of emotion.
Yeah.
That's not tax. Like I mean, I know it's part of being an actor. I get that, but like, that's not easy, right?
No, it's very hard to go from like being fine to then getting injured and then breaking down and then starting it all over again.
Yeah, and then doing that 5 times.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I think I did a pretty good job with it though.
I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited to see it. But no, you're so talented, and I hope we see more of young Judy to come because it's honestly like my favorite thing on a Sunday night. Like I even like it more than football. I love watching the Righteous Gemstones, and you in particular, Gavin. You guys made that. You guys really are an underrated part of that show, and I'm very excited to start Better Things on Hulu. So very exciting. Emma, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I you know what? I don't know if you've done a podcast before, but is this your first, or am I one of your firsts?
It is my first.
So when you go up for your Academy Award, right? I get thanked first, and then you can thank your mom, and then whomever else. But I expect to thank you once you get that award.
Yeah, definitely. We got it.
Emma, thank you so much for being on the show today.